Billy addresses the portal. This was a fun one for me. So a couple articles came out on Billy and his thoughts on the transfer portal. And Billy Napier understands criticism, believes in Florida Gator's system for the transfer portal. So we've talked this before, how Billy kind of brushes things off and is very flat in his responses. This is kind of the first time that he's addressed the noise that we've all been venting about, right? And this is kind of his quote here. He says, I gladly welcome the criticism, Napier said. The portal players that we have added to our team all have contributed to our team. I would say one that I'm extremely particular about is our evaluation process, and I think it's one of the reasons we have this job. The evaluation process is thorough. It takes time, right? We want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned, and that means combing through and examining medical records dating back to at times in high school, right? He goes, you call a high school, there's an injury history. Sometimes there's things you're unaware of. You've got to flip over every single rock. Sometimes our process doesn't fit the timeline and we lose out on a situation. It is what it is. We're not going to speed through that process. Very interesting, because we've been critical on this show. We've talked about it with you guys in the chat about him, the laid backness he's had in the portal. That's been our understanding of it and how we felt about it. We missed out on Josh Simmons, it felt like, because what are we doing? Why aren't we moving quicker? Why aren't we moving faster? He goes, look, we've been burned. And there's another article here. That one was by Nick Del Toro. This one is by Zach Oberverdi, I believe. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. Where he goes, look, we made mistakes on the portal, right? He goes, there's a ton of research done before the portal opens, and obviously when the portal does open, we have checks and balances to make sure that we're not rushing into a relationship. He compared the portal like speed dating, which I thought was pretty funny as well, too. Like that he's, getting his metaphors out there like I like to as well. He goes, look, emissions, that's a mistake that we made here. Probably talking about Grayson McCall, if I had to guess. We pursue players for weeks and in the very beginning, and then all of a sudden we get transcripts for them, and we can't take them. A player that has 1 or 2 years left, okay, they've been in college for 8 semesters. I mean, there's a high likelihood that guy can't get into a school at the University of Florida. So there's an admission issue. And look, all those things are very interesting, right? He also says, there's a ton of research to do. Sometimes you're out in front of that. Sometimes you anticipate. You've been made aware of potential scenarios. We all understand how this happens, and then sometimes it just happens unannounced, and sometimes that requires a ton of research to be done before you're ready to go. So academics is important. So that seems to be the big hiccup for all of us. We've been wondering what it is, and again, that's another thing too. We wonder, hey, why is this top talented stud, why is he still in the portal one? Why is he unable to transfer from this school and go to an SEC caliber school or a Pac-12? Grayson McCall was a big question mark, right? Like, obviously, guy slung it at his Coastal Carolina school. Why can't he move on? Well, he didn't care about school, didn't care about his academics. And obviously, that seems to be a big point of emphasis. And like what Billy said, we've wasted a lot of time going after guys, not even considering that, because it is like speed dating. This is new to all of us. So we've learned, hey, we're not going to rush into this process. I think with being burned, obviously makes you kind of be hesitant in the situation. So this is that first true year too, I think. I know we had guys enter into the portal last year, but this is the first year, in my opinion, where it definitely feels more of like the portal should be, right? So look, we have to trust the process. I think he kind of flexes a little bit when he says, look who the guys we brought in. Well, one of the guys went to the NFL, drafted second round. Montrell Johnson's probably going to be a second to third round, maybe fourth round draft pick. Still going to be an NFL draft pick for sure. So all these, Ricky Pearsall as well, going to be an NFL draft pick. All these guys that we brought in from the portal have had success. Cameron Jackson from Memphis, Cam the running back as well, looked extremely explosive in the spring game. So look, I think they're excited about the guys they're bringing in. So we got to keep trusting that ability and understand what's going on. We just landed the safety out of Michigan, R.J. Moten, another big stud. He was at the time when he came to Florida was a second-ranked safety that got picked up from us. So we had to keep trusting the process, and I love that he finally addressed it, though, right? I think we've talked about it before. Billy kind of maneuvers his way around it. It's good to hear him be a little vulnerable. Like, look, here's the situation, guys. Here's what's going on, right? This is what's happening, and this is how we're addressing it and how we're approaching it. This is our process. May not be the right process, may not be the best process, but right now, this is our process. You got to respect that. You got to respect the honesty. You got to respect his approach and what he's doing with that, and I'm all in on it. So I've been saying this the whole time. I trust in Billy. I trust in his staff, and I'm going to continue to trust in Billy and his staff until otherwise. I have been critical for how he's handled the portal, But now that he's addressed it, he's expressed, hey, here's the struggles that we're going through. Here's what we're dealing with, right? Then I'm okay with it. At least he addressed it instead of just leaving us in the radar. Because sometimes it feels like we're just out there looking around going, hey, Billy, can we get some insight, bub? Can you tell us what's happening here? So